What is up, everyone? Welcome back. One of my longtime subscribers and longtime Patreon supporters, Scott, gave me an opportunity today to be incredibly selfish, and I'm kind of happy about that. He posted up a video of Japanese VK progressive masterminds Sokoninaru covering Rosier by the absolutely incredible and VK defining Luna C. Now, I was exposed to Luna C in February of last year when I did an acoustic for them for Acoustic Tuesday, and I adore this band. They're easily one of my favorite VK bands that I've had a chance to come across. I've loved everything I've heard. They just have such an incredible blend of musicianship, of vocals, of songwriting, and that sheer ability to connect with an audience and to connect with a listener. So, to be able to listen to Luna C's Rosier, a track that I believe I have not heard, if I did, it might have been an acoustic version, and to be able to get into a cover by one of my new favorite visual kei Japanese bands in Sokoninaru is outstanding. It's amazing, and it's kind of selfish. I know that plenty of you have been asking for more Luna C lately, so we're going to do that today. We're going to listen to Luna C's, their original of Rosier, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to listen to the Sokoninaru cover of Rosier. So get two for the price of one, and hear the differences, see how they decided to treat it. I'm really looking forward to this. Both bands are incredible, and I think this is going to be really fun. And it's been quite a while since I've done a side-by-side comparison of a VK band and the cover. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first track is Luna C doing Rosier. Here we go. I do believe I've done some stuff from this concert before. Certainly one of their more strong rock-driven tracks. I like that little growl there. Great guitar accents. Really driving. I really like the accent leads there. They're already very tastefully placed. Definitely tell this track was written in the late 90s, or early 90s, I'm sorry. There's slightly thinner tone, there's really rich lead tones. Really cool bit of effect on that lead. I like that rhythmic delivery here. Really part of that early quintessential VK sound here. Like when he goes into that mid-range and uses his vibrato. Like the dramatic flair in the performance of all the members as well. I like using the bass player to do the spoken word here. So much energy, launching the mic stand. Outstanding. So much control in the way he phrases his leads. Like the way he uses his vibrato and bridges in and out these different licks. There's that big part of his voice. A lot of that floating wave-like vibrato that he likes to use. Awesome. I like how both guitarists are playing off each other as well. That lead predicated the change and allowed the other guitar player to play some accent stuff. I like the way the drummer and the guitar player are working together. They're locked into that passage. So much energy out of this live. Really playing with the crowd. Definitely getting that Tokyo audience to be a bit more lively than I'm used to seeing from the Japanese crowd. Awesome. I like that tremolo work he's doing there with his leads. Really interesting effects on that tone. Matt, really strong fill there rolling across his toms by the drummer. A little bit of homage to Steve Harris there with the shooting of the bass, closing that out. That was Rosier by Lucy. And there's a ton of energy to that track. There's some really cool guitar accents, which really add a little bit of nuance to what's a very punk influence driving rhythm in the verse. And they certainly have that early VK, and they're certainly a part of the foundation of VK. But that very quintessential, spanky, Fender-like tone from typically a Strat or a Tele style guitar, and one of their rhythm guitar players clearly using one. Bass tone is very rich. It's a little far back. I wouldn't mind that being just a touch forward. Drums in that mix or from that board recording are definitely really strong. Drummer's got an interesting feel. He is minimalist at points, or he might just take a transition with like one or two cymbal hits, or maybe just a snare punctuation, and then later on he's going into some big fills where he's just rolling across those toms and punctuating the change with a strong snare hit. The vocalist does a great job of using the different parts of his range, using that more conversational delivery and slightly higher part. There's a couple of points where he dips into that mid-range and lets that vibrato that he has float, and he really pushes his voice towards the end of it. I love the interplay between himself and his lead guitar player. That's really special. I always love listening to these guys. I always love encountering a new track from Luna C. They're just such a fantastic band, and the ballads, of course, are amazing because they do such a great job of connecting with the emotion of the listener. That was just a straightforward, moving track with a couple of really interesting little nuances, and I love those different guitar tones, the different leads that are liberally applied but tastefully done throughout the track. And now we get into the Sokoninaru cover. I think this was just uploaded a couple of days ago, and I'm going to be really curious to how they do it, especially considering they are just a 3-piece. So let's check out what they do. Do they provide a very faithful rendition of it, or do they put their own twists on it? Knowing that they're a power trio, I'm really interested. So this is Sokoninaru covering Rosier by Luna C. Here we go. Certainly a bit shorter. Granted, that last one was a bit of a lot there. You can already hear some of the slight tonal differences. Their guitar players using a Fender Jazz style guitar with, looks like, either P90s or humbuckers in it. And he uses a lot of pedals to his tone. He's got such a great tone, that richness in the middle part of his voice. Really pronounced the way he plays that tremolo passage. It's also interesting how their bass player gets the different attack. I'm trying to see if she's using the pick or not. She might just be using her thumb. Love the way they harmonize. Drummer's got such a great feel and a strong groove to how he plays. I like that hi-hat accent their drummer did. So smooth. And I also like how she's using a different mic with a different setup to get the spoken word part. Very cool. Definitely a slightly different take on the solo here. You notice that he plays the fixed bridge as opposed to a whammy bar. I might actually like the vocal take here by these guys a little bit better. Wow. Listen to that shift that the drummers added, that really cool snare roll in there. Tossed it in a little bit of a blast beat. Really cool shift there. Kick work is definitely more pronounced. He's using a D beat there. Wow. So that was Sokoninaru covering Rosier, and it was a slightly different take. You can certainly tell a difference tonally, even though Luna C uses 2 guitar players and Sokoninaru's got 1. It looks like his main guitar there that he utilized. I still can't tell if it's humbuckers or if it's P90s in it, but it does have a richer, thicker sound, and that's really evident, especially as compared to the Strat the Strat style guitar that's driving the live version that we heard from Luna C. So it's gonna, even be it a P90 or a humbucker, it's going to provide and produce a thicker sound. So you already get that. The bass line, well, she's got a phenomenal bass tone, and her bass work is such a huge part of their sound, and she makes up for the fact that they don't have a second guitar player. So being so instrumental in the sound, I expected the bass to be more forward, and it certainly is. Certainly both different vocalists than the vocalist from Luna C. He's got a bit more mid-range, a bit more of that richness in the mid-range part of his voice and part of his chest voice. And you hear that. He's also got a little bit more strength and richness when he goes up into his head voice than the singer from Luna C does. So you get that. You also get the phenomenal vocal interplay between the bass player and the guitar player. That stands out. I've always loved her voice from the moment I heard it, and that little bit of interplay in her voice and parts of the chorus really helped sticking that up. I really like the way that sounded as well. And the drummer, well, the drummer is a monster. He's a ridiculously talented player. He's a very technical player, and he's a bit busier than the drummer from Luna C tends to be most of the time. The end, I kind of thought that I don't want to say expected, but I thought that he might possibly push things a little bit, and he did. That last verse, he started out with this really strong snare roll and then actually went into a blast beat for a little bit, and then back into that really heavy snare roll and downshifted into a D beat, which is still relative on the slightly quicker side. Of course, they just rolled right through it. Solo wise, little bit of differences, a little bit more tapping from the guitar player here in Sokoninaru. So it was faithful, but they added their own little twists to it, and I'm really happy with that. I'm glad they didn't just play it straight. I'm glad they put their own little spin on it, and it's fantastic. You can't go wrong with either version. I think it's sacrilegious, I know. I understand that, but as much as I love Luna C, I might actually like the cover a little bit more, and that's simply because I absolutely love Sokoninaru, and I love that they changed it up and it was a little busier than the Luna C version, which is just a bit more straightforward, and I like things a little busier, so it's certainly a personal preference. You cannot go wrong either way. There is not a wrong answer here. There really isn't. It's simply a matter of preference, a matter of taste, and a matter of what you hear as compared to how I or somebody else hears it. So, while it can be debated, there's certainly no wrong answer, and I love both versions. I just think the Sokoninaru version is going to come out on top for me. Either way, both bands are really special. You've got Luna C being the legends. You've got Sokoninaru being the young upstarts. And Both bands have a ton of talent and a ton more to give us as fans and as listeners. And even teaching people like me who are critics. So really happy to do this. Really happy that Scott made me aware of this. Thank you, brother. I truly appreciate that. I haven't had a chance to dive into as much VK as I've wanted to the past couple of weeks trying to get Patreon requests done. And this allowed me to get a bit more. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I will certainly see you in the next one. Let me know what you thought. Let me know your opinions. I'm always curious. And I want to start doing more of these. So let me know what else you want to see. Thank you, guys. Thank you to my law enforcement, military, veterans, and first responders, which you do every single day. As always, you have been awesome. I have been Baldman. I will see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other. Keep head bang.